Vande Krsna Foundation presents
Women, youth and children in the village is changing.
See, our whole program started with women as the nodal point of our interventions. Our programs are driven by what we call Mahila Mandals. We have more than 1,000 Mahila Mandals.
1,000 Mahila Mandals?
Yes.
Wow.
And all these Mahila Mandals are the center point of all our interventions. All our programs converge and diverge from there. So the women have been empowered in many ways through the Mahila Mandal program. Not only have the individual women stayed, but they have done a lot of interventions for helping the village rural development program. And through the women, we've been able to enter the lives of their children, their youth and adolescent girls, as well as their husbands. In the beginning, it was not so easy because when women came out once a month for these meetings, men used to resent it. But as time went on and they saw what kind of changes are happening in their homes because of the women going to these meetings, not only are women becoming very good in doing many works at home, but they are also able to access self-care microcredit for not only themselves and their own income generation schemes, but they are borrowing for their husbands. Many husbands have done a lot of business because of the self-help group microcredit access to the women. And their children have benefited too because if they had to send their child for education, they take loans from the self-help group and it makes their life much easier. So women have become very powerful in many ways. In fact, we started the Women Farmers Program. In our country, 60 to 70% of our farm work is done by women, but they're not recognized. Whenever you think of a farmer, in your mind you think of a man, but you do not think of a woman. It's actually the woman who's the center of the farm activity. So we have done work directly with women farmers. In fact, we are now working with more than 7,000 women farmers in the country, and they have shown a lot of success, and the farming methods have changed, input costs have changed, and their earnings and their food security and nutritional diversity at homes have also improved because of the farm work with the women. Women have also taken a lot of loans, not only for their family but for their own income generation. And there has been a diversity of work besides farming. We do multi-pronged programs. So backyard poultry, backyard dairy, silkworm raising, beekeeping, fishery. Then go to non-farm sector activities like sewing, knitting, and pine needle products. You just name food products, you name it, because as many women as many ideas. So there's a large activities that they have done. Now what I am interested is in rural tourism. And tourism of a different kind. Our country is so full of diversity. And it's so beautiful with this cultural values. So instead of following the Western style of welcoming people, why not have our own Indian culture, Indian homes with their different states have different kind of cuisine, that and their own folk songs, their own dances, plus experience for the people who come from various parts of our country to what I call it not only rural to experiential rural tourism. That means they will experience farming, they can go and work in the farm, milk the cows if they like, and do everything that they would like to do they couldn't have done. And when I talk to the young people in our country, many mothers are now interested in experiential exposure to their children from the urban area. So that is one. And there are many other ideas that keep coming because of people that I see when we work with them. Rural India's youth need a lot of job opportunities. Employment for everyone with various government employment, whether private employment is not possible. So what we need to do is to promote self-employment amongst the youth. Remember, our country's GDP was the highest in the 1500 AD.
Right.
And then by even 1750, China overtook our GDP. But both China and India together had the world's 60% GDP. We were second by 1900 because of the invasion of our country, the Mughal invasion, then the British invasion. Our whole GDP had dropped down to 1.8% of the world GDP. So what we need to do is to bring back the pride of the country. That we have ideas, we can come forward. We have not allowed our youth to understand the history of the country. Once they understand that there's so many ways that our country is rich in many ways. Like, you can have in rural India, you can also have yoga thing. The air is so pure and beautiful in rural India, not polluted like that in Delhi.
Yeah.
And meditation camps also. So there's many options. When I sit with the kids, I realize that there are many things that they could do. And in areas, in villages which are very close to towns, then you can introduce many things where they can go from their homes to the nearby towns and do a lot of other things that can be done. Our ex-president's idea of Pura. So Pura was an idea of having urban facilities for the people in rural India. So those kind of development can be done, and the youth have to realize their potential. They are shy. They have not had so much social interactions. Their capacity to become entrepreneurs needs to be encouraged and nurtured. And I'm very hopeful because I'm seeing that without us doing much, youth are forming groups in the villages. Like there's a group of electricians, and they use the WhatsApp group so that they use, suppose 4 of them are in a group, one gets job somewhere else and he gets a job, call for another job in demand, then the group does the job. So they're expanding, like it's electricians or plumbers or carpenters. They form groups on their own and they're doing very well. One just has to let them go, facilitate, but they have not given up farming. What I realized is that they do farming in between 6 to 10 in the morning. In the evening, come back and do farming. And between 10 to 5, they are earning with other non-farm sector activities. So, it only needs encouragement and stop thinking of just jobs. Of course, youth in countries still have jobs as their priority. Government job is the first priority. Private jobs is the second priority. But self-employment hasn't yet got up. And we need to promote it in many ways, and we're doing that.
Wow, so amazing, Didi. All your initiatives sound so amazing. Especially the rural tourism idea.
Yes, I think I really want to do work on that now.
Yeah.
And
because the urban youth is so disconnected with the rural world, so it'll be so...
And they come together in very good ways. So each strengthens the other, synergize, strengthen each other, enjoy, and be proud of your own things. Why give it up?
Yeah.
When I go abroad, I see a very uniform rural area. Same kind all over. It doesn't have that much of diversity, but when I travel in our own country, it's so rich. Besides, remember, we don't need to follow the Western way of business. Our businesses are based on what I call relationships. Our security is our relationship. So even if you don't have the money, if you find businesses going on, within that relationship, they can manage their businesses. So we have to work on this very beautiful component. And when you travel India, you find certain clusters that people who have kept up these relationships and are doing very well in their jobs. So why not improve that kind of things that was inherent to the country? Why give it away? Like the family in the country is the social security.
Right.
Yeah. But in the West, it is the government takes up for social security.
Right.
Imagine if Prime Minister had to look after all families in India. Where would the funds come from? But everywhere you find people, the country's culture was the family should look after each other. If even in a family of few people, if 2 people are earning, they can look after the rest of the family. That was the kind of culture. And we should entertain this in rural India, especially household income generation. Everyone doing different kind of things and bringing income to the family, and yet keeping the rural prosperity the rural way, not the urban way. Why lose it? So the beauty of the country.